Hey friends, Sean from SGT Report with a quick news update. You are witnessing the systematic destruction of the old guard. Things continue to get worse for Jeffrey Epstein with this image of what is said to be surveillance camera footage from Epstein Island, with Q noting the 2013 date at the bottom, saying the date is important. Researchers will continue digging in as things are only getting worse for Epstein, but there's so much other news to cover as well, so stay tuned for this news brief, which is brought to you in part by our friends at Noble Bitcoin. Now guys, Bitcoin is dead, they said. Cryptos are finished. And just a few months ago, that was the general outlook for cryptocurrencies. But now look, just since June, when Bitcoin reached $7,400, it has since reached $13,800, although it has pulled back over the past week to about $11,200. The point being, you may want Bitcoin to play a role in your retirement future. And Noble Bitcoin has always believed in the cryptos. They were one of the first to offer crypto IRAs and 401k rollovers, and that's the good news. If you have an IRA and or a 401k, you can use those vehicles to buy cryptocurrencies, and it's the best way to do it because when you take profits within the IRA, you avoid paying tax. So it's time to take another look at cryptocurrencies. I myself hold a little bit of Bitcoin for the future, and you can too. Call Noble Bitcoin today and find out how. Don't miss this opportunity. Call 877-646-5347. It's a free, no obligation phone call. And guys, like any investment, you don't have to go all in. You can dip your foot in the pool with an IRA or 401k. Call 877-646-5347 and talk to the folks at Noble Bitcoin. I'll leave that phone number in the more info section below this video. Now, friends, the arrest of Jeffrey Epstein is certainly one of the biggest stories of the year, and we're going to keep our eye very closely on that story. But I want to focus on this report with some of the other news items that continue to roll in, not the least of which is the $1.3 billion of cocaine found on a ship owned by JP Morgan. Let that set in for just a minute. When we talk about the big criminal banks in money laundering for drug cartels, and in fact, perhaps just drug running, we must talk about the deep state, which includes the big international criminal banks. The importance of the drug bust of the Liberian-flagged MSC Guyane, owned by JP Morgan, cannot be overstated. Authorities say they found nearly 18 tons of cocaine with an estimated street value of $1.3 billion on the ship, and it makes one wonder if perhaps the government can now seize the ship since it was involved in these nefarious drug-running activities. And I saw a tweet the other day. I'd give credit to whoever it was if I could recall, but the person says, interesting to note that in the 1995 blockbuster movie The Usual Suspects, yes, the same movie starring Kevin Spacey, and the same movie directed by Bryan Singer, both of whom have alleged pedophilia problems. But in that blockbuster movie, a mysterious Turkish crime lord is ordering the gang to raid a ship manned by Argentinian drug dealers and destroy $91 million worth of cocaine being sold on board. Think about that. $91 million worth of cocaine in a fictional movie on a ship. Meanwhile, JP Morgan's owned ship was carrying $1.3 billion in cocaine. Doesn't it really make you wonder what the deep state is? And friends, in other news, credit to my friend Barb, who sent me this from NBC quote-unquote news. Conspiracy theory about slaying DNC staffer was planted by Russian intelligence, report finds. This is an unbelievable tale. A former assistant U.S. attorney told Yahoo that U.S. intelligence officials found Russia had planted and fomented the theory. Guys, this is about Seth Rich, and it's unbelievably stupid when you know the truth and you understand that Kim.com offered Robert Mueller what he promised to be evidence proving that the DNC leaker was Seth Rich. But this absurd mainstream media article from NBC quote-unquote news claims that Deborah Sines, a former assistant U.S. attorney put in charge of an investigation into the murder of Seth Rich, told Yahoo that U.S. intelligence officials, probably Clapper and Brennan, found Russia had planted and fomented the theory through the internet and social media, the theory that Seth Rich was the DNC leaker. This article summarizes, quote, the theory roughly posited without evidence that Rich had been murdered as part of an effort to cover up supposed crimes by Hillary Clinton, end quote. Supposed crimes like what? The private server running out of her home in Chappaqua? The billions and billions of dollars missing from the Clinton Foundation? The Podesta emails with coded pedophilic language? Maybe those supposed crimes include Laura Silsby trying to traffic 33 children out of Haiti and the Clintons coming to her aid. Or maybe those supposed crimes include information about the Uranium One deal. Or maybe those supposed crimes include stacking the deck against Bernie Sanders at the DNC and giving the nomination to Hillary, who did not deserve it. Who knows exactly what those supposed crimes were, but evidently the supposed crimes have nothing to do with Seth Rich being the leaker at the DNC, who was fed up with the criminality that he saw from within and downloaded the emails and got them in the hands of WikiLeaks. According to NBC quote-unquote news, that's an impossibility. And this absurd article from NBC quote-unquote news continues. Deborah Sines said Russia's former intelligence service was behind a fake report that was posted on an obscure conspiracy website that often posts Russian propaganda. From there, the theory was pushed by Russian media organization RT and Sputnik, as well as Russia's social media influence operations Yahoo found. Sines told Yahoo that she briefed then special counsel Robert Mueller on her findings. Now again, I'll remind you that it was Kim.com who very publicly promised to come to the United States if he was granted promises of safety, and that he would testify under oath and provide his evidence that he says he had that Seth Rich was the DNC leaker. Robert Mueller never responded to that offer. The article continues. Mueller's report on Russian interference in the 2016 U.S. election referenced the Rich theory as having been, quote-unquote, discredited. Attempts by NBC News to reach Deborah Sines were unsuccessful. Now, this propagandist piece from NBC quote-unquote news continues. Researchers have poured through Russians' disinformation campaign ahead of the 2016 election, revealing the depth and breadth of the operation that is believed to have reached more than 126 million Americans. That's so laughable, nearly half of the U.S. population, they're suggesting, was somehow bamboozled by the Russians to vote for President Trump. That's the charge here. It's absolutely preposterous. And in fact, when Google was hauled before, I believe it was the Congress or Senate, and asked if there was any Russian advertising or how much did the Russians spend on advertising, I think the number provided by Google was somewhere in the neighborhood of $4,500.
There were two main ad accounts linked to Russia, which advertised on Google for about $4,700 in advertising. We also found other limited...
Total of $4,700?
That's right.
It's completely absurd that the Russians influenced the election to any large degree. And this NBC quote-unquote news article is absurd from top to bottom. And the last sentence in this article vets out the whole purpose for it ever having been written. Quote, U.S. intelligence officials have warned that Russia and other countries are preparing to attempt to influence the 2020 elections, end quote. Yes, if Donald Trump gets reelected over any of the horrific DNC candidates, it's the Russians that got him into the White House. And friends, just a couple more notes to round out this quick news update. I received an email from my friend Dr. B who says, quote, I can't get over the timing of our interview being aired and Q dropping the Planned Parenthood abortion posts with pictures within 24 hours, end quote. She says she can't sleep, but she's affected by the power of the spirit which moved her and her two doctor friends to join me in a conversation about the abortion issue. These three pro-life doctors wanted very much to blow the whistle on the abortion business and tell the truth about what they see on the front lines as doctors. If you haven't watched that interview yet with my three doctor friends, I will post that link below. And indeed, we are watching the destruction of the old guard. And Q says Planned Parenthood news is coming, as Q links to this article from Breitbart.com. GOP senators demand a Department of Justice update on Planned Parenthood fetal tissue probe. Republican Senators Lindsey Graham and Chuck Grassley have sent a letter to U.S. Attorney General William Barr and FBI Director Christopher Wray demanding an update on the investigation into possible violations regarding the sale of aborted fetal tissue by Planned Parenthood and its partners in the biomedical research industry. Friends, as we covered in my interview with the three doctor whistleblowers, abortion is not just a woman's choice. It is big business. And it's about time the world found out the truth about that business. And while we're on the subject, to round out this particular video, I just want to show you that that interview was labeled not suitable for most advertisers by YouTube. Not only that, it was confirmed by manual review that that interview was not suitable for most advertisers. Now, imagine that somebody from YouTube had to go in upon my request and watch the video and confirm that it was not suitable for most advertisers. A pro-life conversation from 3 highly educated women, female doctors, about the abortion issue. It begs the question, are most advertisers not pro-life? But beyond that, my breaking news report about the arrest of Jeffrey Epstein, which is historical fact and was breaking news on the day I made that video, was also confirmed by manual review to not be suitable for most advertisers. 98% of that particular video was material taken from a Miami Herald article, all fact-based, not conjecture, 100% truth about the fact of the arrest of this convicted pedophile. I guess YouTube is mostly interested in advertising to just pro-choicers and pedophiles. And that's why I thank my patrons so very much for your support. Also, for those who haven't done so, download the Brave browser. It's more than twice as fast as Google Chrome, and it will not spy on you. It's absolutely free. I'll leave the link below this video. Download it, install it, and begin using the Brave browser. You'll be glad you did. And for real news 24/7, you can visit us at sgtreport.com, the antidote to corporate propaganda. God bless. Bye-bye.
If I'm in prison tomorrow, I'm in danger. Please don't forget about me. If they can do this to me, then they can do this to you. This is the censorship going to the next level. Not just censorship, imprisonment, possible murder for exposing the reality of the world we're currently living in due to their policies.